Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Christopher Billings, and welcome to the Power Plant. We have an action-packed night tonight. This is episode 51, and we are literally, 3 weeks away from Over the Limit. And things are really shaping up. We already know what the main event is going to be. It's going to be xCalizorz facing Craig Hazard for the Power Plant Championship at Over the Limit. We don't know what kind of match it's going to be, but we don't. Okay, so we can hear Die Hard's theme song playing, so we know that Die Hard's gonna, I guess, give us a piece of his mind, or maybe tell us what kind of match they're gonna have. But it's like the way I look at it, Die Hard is trying to do good business, I guess, but he's not accepting the fact that xCalizorz is the reason why a lot of the fans are tuning in week after week, and he needs to realize that to truly be successful. One thing that we all have noticed, he's taken a fashion to a real liking to kind of trying to sidestep the superstars here in the Power Plant. I don't agree with that at all, but it looks like Die Hard is asking for a microphone here, but while we wait here for whatever he's going to do, a little later tonight we do have an interview with Jordan Moore regarding the Alexander Monroe situation, but it looks like Die Hard wants that mic now, so we're going to go ahead and see whatever Die Hard has to say about recent events or anything like that. So, chaos is ensuing in the Power Plant. This has been spectacular. This is exactly how I wanted to see it all happen. You see, when I made the decision to bring the Power Plant back so that everybody could see it, I scoured and scoured and scoured and needed to find talent that could get the job done. And I'm saying this because if you haven't had the opportunity to go watch xCalizorz's interview with Christopher Billings, then you should definitely go check that out. However, I just want you to know, Zach, you are lucky. You are damn lucky that I even allowed that piece of crap to go up. So other people can see that. Saying I'm afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you. You're afraid of me. You're afraid of Die Hard. The only reason that you continued on is because my son is inexperienced. And you got lucky against Sabbath. Luck is on your side right now, but Craig Hazard will take you out. That's a given. And so, on that note, I just want you to really try to enjoy the time that you have left on the winning crusade, I guess, because that ends tonight. Because in the main event, Zach, you're going to be competing. And in the interest of fairness for your opponent, we're going to make this match an interesting match. I'm going to pick your poison tonight. I'm going to pick your opponent for you. Hand chosen by yours truly. We're going to see just if you really are the end game of the Power Plant. If you really have what it takes to go toe-to-toe with some of the best wrestlers in the world. Now, aside from that, I just want to give a little bit of a rundown of the things that are going to happen, matches that are shaping up for Over the Limit. I'm sure that by now everybody's realized that Monroe versus Jordan Moore that's going to probably get penciled in. I don't agree with that match, but it's going to get penciled in. Monroe versus Jordan Moore, whatever Melinda chooses for their stipulation, it's whatever. I pay Monroe way too much money, so it's whatever. Another match that I'm going to sign due to what happened last week and the week before on episode 49 and 50. We're going to see Brickwall versus Explicit at Over the Limit. We don't know what capacity, but it's going to happen. So Brickwall and Explicit, they're not in competition tonight, but we're going to see them at Over the Limit go head to head. But like I told Craig Hazard last week, take the night off. You need to make sure Mr. Hazard, that you are at 100% come over the limit. So you're not even scheduled tonight. So you better not be in my arena. Because as we are sitting here, as these fans are sitting here, they aren't here to see you, Hazard. They're here to see me and to see what I'm going to say about everybody on the roster. And I'm okay with that. Because let's face it, everybody wants to know what Die Hard is thinking, what Die Hard is going to do to, keep Zach Semeraro from winning the Power Plant Championship. You know what? I hope, Zach, that you win the title. Because then, and only then, will you be a deserving champion. Until that time happens, which I don't think it's going to happen over the limit. Until then, be ready for tonight, Zach, because you have a very interesting opponent, because you don't know who your opponent's going to be. And for everybody else on the roster, take notice. Do not step on Die Hard's toes, because you will regret what you do. So heed this warning and heed it now. Do not try to be another Zach Semeraro. He's a thorn in my side, which I'm going to pull out. Right, but tonight, it's going to happen tonight. You're going to get incapacitated so bad, Semeraro, you're not going to make it to over the limit. I promise you that. You will not make it to over the limit. So this is my final warning. My final warning to the entire roster. Shape up. Shape up or you're going to get shipped out. And Zach Semeraro knows all about that. And a lot of the guys in the back know all about that. And I ain't afraid to cut my losses and go hire some new guy from developmental. So shape up or else get shipped out. Enjoy the rest of the show. Well, it seems like Die Hard is definitely upset. I know he watched the Zach Semeraro interview I had with Semeraro earlier this week, but I'm thrown back by this. And kind of switching gears. Die Hard is definitely in a bad mood, but switching gears here. Instead of a normal tag team match, Justin Frost is going to face Jake Serbian in a singles match tonight, and then a little later this evening we're going to see Malcolm Serbian taking on Kent McLeod. So that's going to be, they're trying to get a feel for these guys if they can actually work a singles match as well as in the tag team division. I think that's great because I believe that Justin Frost he's got a bright future here in the Power Plant. Kent McLeod and both the Serbians, they all have a great bright future here in the Power Plant as long as they can hone their skills in a situation where it's one-on-one and there's no way around it. You can't blame it on your tag team partner if you lose the match. And it's just that tonight is going to be explosive. We're getting right into action. I love that. It's been like that since we relaunched, right into the action, non-stop action, literally. But just tonight, I wouldn't want to be anybody who crosses Die Hard tonight, because Die Hard definitely has, no pun intended, but Die Hard definitely has a vengeance tonight. He really does. He seems very upset, but you got to believe that at Over the Limit, the Serbian brothers, TPP management has got to be taking notice that these guys have been getting it done week in and week out. And so you got to believe they deserve they deserve something at Over the Limit. They deserve to be there. They deserve to fight at Over the Limit. And we're about to get this underway. Jake Serbian versus Justin Frost. And I think this is going to be a spectacular matchup. This is the first time I've ever seen Jake Serbian in a one-on-one match. So this is definitely going to be very exciting to see. And as you see, Justin Frost into a standing tie up there. And Frost right on the offensive with that side belly to back suplex. Just, he's ready. He was ready for this. I remember it was after last week's episode, he went into Melinda Guerrero's office and he requested this matchup with Jake Serbian. The original scheduling was not against Jake, it was against Malcolm, but he requested to face Jake. And I think this is a very spectacular looking match so far. I mean, this isn't one-sided. This is very, it's got the back and forth element to it. A big Samoan drop there by Jake Serbian, and Jake is, he's a lot smaller than Justin Frost. Justin Frost walks around at about 255 pounds. He's about 6'4", and Jake Serbian is not that big, and into a cover there. The referee evidently did not see that going on, which is kind of interesting. But Jake Serbian, you know, he may be a smaller guy and he may not be as big as Justin Frost, but you got to believe the fight in this young man, like that shoulder block there, he strikes you like a pit bull. He keeps coming at you and he does not let off. That's the way that the Serbians function within their matches. They keep the pressure on you, whether you're bigger than them, smaller than them. They keep the pressure on and they keep pushing forward. They do not stop. But Justin Frost, he is a very big guy, and it takes a very agile large man to do an elbow drop like that off the second rope and, you know, not get himself hurt. Into a cover here, 1, 2, and only a 2 count. And like I was saying, man, the TPP management has got to be taking notice of these young men that are coming in to the tag team division. They're all doing so well in their matches. I mean, they're really stepping it up. And all the times that I've commentated tag team matches, I've never had more excitement than when I'm doing the commentary. You know, when I'm talking about the Serbians or I'm talking about Frost and McLeod, you know, just these guys have been so straightforward since they, you know, debuted here in the power plant. I love seeing it. I think it's extremely cool. And this match, wait a second, what is Frost doing here? Frost with a big lifting flapjack there. I mean, nothing pretty or nothing fancy about it, just picking him up and then slamming him down on his face. But like I was saying, management has got to be taking a look at this, because they've got to realize that the Serbians, Frost and McLeod, are all phenomenal athletes, no matter what anybody says. I mean, these guys, they aren't just tag team competitors. They are individual wrestlers that are going out here week after week, and just they're putting their bodies on the line, but they are tearing it up. They are giving the fans a reason to tune in every time they see these episodes go up. They're giving them a reason to tune in. They're giving them a reason to want to keep watching the power plant compared to some other product that might be scripted. And so you see this, and I mean, look at this, a big float over DDT from Jake Serbian to Justin Frost into the cover here. 1, only about a 1.5 count there, almost a 2, not quite. But as I was saying, I mean, these guys are the tag team division right now is the reason why people are tuning in. I mean, yes, Zach Samararo, you know, and Jordan Moore, Monroe, and Explicit, and Brick Wall, and Craig Hazard, everybody else. I mean, yeah, they're great too. They do great. But the tag team division is where the future is, and into the cover. They're only a 1 count for Justin Frost, and like I was saying, the future is in the tag team division. And these guys are the future. This is the future of the sport. These guys go in there week after week and put everything they have on the line. And I mean, look at this. As you see, I mean, back and forth, and this takes some real strength here. Jake Serbian picked Justin Frost up into a vertical suplex, hung him up there, and then planted him on his face. That takes a very, very specific skill set to be able to do that to somebody larger than you without hurting him and yourself. And I look at Jake Serbian here, and look at this, into a single leg Boston Crab. Great chain wrestling. Will Frost give up here? You know, he's trying to crawl towards the rope, but maybe Jake Serbian realized he didn't have a good hold on it, and he just let it go. You know, he maybe didn't want to risk having Frost get out of it. Now he's got Frost in the corner here. He's putting him up onto the top turnbuckle. And this is why I say it's things like, well, look at this, Frost with a big counter, big missile drop kick out of the corner. You don't see a big man fly like that very often, but when they fly, they fly. But Frost is a very special large man. He's very agile to be about 250 pounds. And as you saw, he did a springboard from the outside to the inside. He's very agile for his size. And that's a very special talent. These young men nowadays, they possess a very special talent, and I don't want them to, you know, worry about what Die Hard was saying earlier, because ultimately Melinda Guerrero will keep these young men on the roster no matter what. He will keep them on this. She will keep them on this roster because she knows that the future of this sport is in people like Jake Serbian and Justin Frost and Malcolm and Kent McLeod and Zach Samararo and Jordan Moore and Monroe and everybody else. She knows that that's the future. And the unfortunate side with Dart, and I'm not saying this because I have an ironclad contract or anything like that. I'm just saying this because it's the truth, but Dart is a very skewed way of perceiving, you know, the way that people should act. And that's just one of the things about Dart. He has a skewed way of perceiving that. And what's Frost thinking here? Frost kick to the abdomen. He tried the scissors kick last week, but he got cut off, and then, oh, big scissors kick there. That might be all she wrote into the cover here. 1, 2, only a 2 count there for Justin Frost. I can only imagine how much that took out of Jake Serbian. And again, you know, they're going out here even in a one-on-one environment, and they're putting it all on the line. And Serbian needed that Samoan drop counter, and then a big elbow drop off the top there. Didn't connect fully, and now both Jake Serbian and Justin Frost are both down. They are both down in this matchup. You know, he who gets to it, and Jake Serbian back to his feet first. Very impressive, going back to the top rope again. And now Frost getting back to his feet. What is Serbian going to do here? Serbian leaps off with a front flipping leg drop, which, you know, again, the Serbian brothers are a very skilled tag team, and they're very skilled in singles competition as well. I mean, as you see, Jake Serbian, he's very comfortable in the ring. Look at this. He leaps over him again, and then catches him with a big back elbow. Shades of, you know, Jimmy Superfly Snuka. You know, and that's fantastic, paying homage to a great wrestler, a great wrestler, a legendary wrestler. And now Serbian with that running drive-by kick. That's like getting hit in the side of the head with a brick into the cover. 1, 2, only a 2 count. Frost had enough awareness left in him to be able to kick out. It might have just been instinct, and a big standing drop kick by Frost there. That seated Jake. And now Frost on the offensive here, trying to keep this match very high octane. That's the best way to explain Justin Frost. I've talked to him several times, and high octane is what he's all about. But now what's Frost doing here? Frost, that big flip bottom off the top rope there, into the cover, hooks the far leg. 1, 2, 3, and this matchup is over. Justin Frost, all 250 pounds, doing a standing backflip off the top rope to put Jake Serbian away. It's things like that you don't believe it until you see it. You really don't. And like I said, I believe TPP management is definitely taking a strong look at all these young men, because they're doing so phenomenally well in all their matches. I mean, these guys are literally going out there and doing everything that they possibly can. And for those of you that aren't aware, there is an unscripted interview available now on our YouTube channel with Zach Samararo. It was myself and Zach Samararo. I sat down with him earlier this week. I had a great talk with him. I think that, you know, I asked him a lot of those hard-hitting questions that people were asking, so I definitely think you guys should check it out. It's definitely worth the listen, and you can get to know Samararo a little bit better. I don't know who we're going to have on there, you know, next week, but it's probably going to be somebody good. I'd imagine it's going to be really good to get to hear that. So, you know, kind of switching gears back to the show, though, but definitely want to check that out. The second match of the night, we've already got Malcolm Serbian in the ring, and so now it is time for Kent McLeod to come down to the ring here. And you know, we just heard this theme song, I know, but they're a tag team, and this is, I love this, because this is a great way to kick off the night. It's almost like getting the tag team match aspect without getting a full-on tag team matchup. We do have a tag team match scheduled a little later tonight, and you know, I think you guys are really gonna like that one. But right now, you know, it's all about Kent McLeod and Malcolm Serbian. You know, can Kent McLeod do what his tag team partner was able to do, pick up the win tonight, get them gaining some momentum heading into Over the Limit? You got it. Like I said, you got to believe management is looking to put the McLeod and Frost, or even the Serbians, in some type of title picture. And here we go, standing tie-up from Serbian and McLeod, and McLeod got the upper advantage. McLeod again a much larger man. The Serbians are not that big, and as you see, new trunks from Malcolm, but Malcolm with that beautiful swinging neck breaker there. That was very beautiful, and going back to the well again with the second swinging neck breaker. It worked once, why not have it work again? And this is what it takes right here. I mean, granted, Jake Serbian wasn't able to get it done, but Malcolm, you know, he knows you got to keep the pressure on. And look at this, he knows it. He knows he's got to keep that pressure on. He's got to keep the pressure on the big man. He's got to get him down on the ground and keep him on the ground. And this is what he's doing, and he's doing it very wisely, because look at this, a big, beautiful dropping neck breaker there. He let it get a little bit of hang time, cut out the circulation to the brain, and then dropped him. But a big power slam from Kent McLeod there, that'll definitely change your tune. And now Kent McLeod, a big kick in the corner there, and now just choking Malcolm with his knee in the corner, using the turnbuckle pad to his advantage. It's things like this. I mean, this is why I love being a commentator in the power plant. I get to see this exciting stuff every week. You know, I always get to see exciting matches. There's never a dull moment here. I mean, look at this, Kent McLeod. You know, he was getting rocked there, but then he was able to switch it up and counter that and get. Well, I thought he was going to get the momentum in his favor there, but Malcolm with the beautiful belly to back there, it looked like he was going to bridge it, but he decided not to. And now Malcolm going to the top rope, and he leaps off with a big spinning back elbow. And as you see here, I mean, Malcolm is he's keeping the pressure on McLeod, and that's what he's got to do. But McLeod, although he's a big guy, not the world's greatest drop kick, but a very effective drop kick, to say the least, and then pulls Malcolm into that back elbow. And now look at this. I mean, he going outside the rules there, bashing the head on the mat. I don't agree with it, but it does get the job done in the sense of Kent McLeod. And again, going back to the well with that neck breaker for Malcolm. And now what is Malcolm thinking here? Malcolm has McLeod on the ropes. He's running back off the ropes, runs in, big leg press right across the back of the head and the neck into a big running forearm there. Nothing fancy about it, into the cover here. 1, 2, only a 2 count for Malcolm, the first near fall of this matchup. And now Malcolm, big drop, running drop kick to the side of the head, keeping McLeod on the ground. And that is what Malcolm needs to do. He needs to keep McLeod down, but McLeod, such a bigger man and more powerful, was able to just, you know, he's able to just knock down Malcolm. And Malcolm, he's got to, like I was saying, he's got to keep the pressure on. He's got to treat this like it's a tag match, and he has to use the ring as his tag team partner. Because if McLeod starts getting on a roll, then that's when, you know, he's probably he's one of the most dangerous men within the power plant. But look at this, he caught McLeod, a bigger man that was going for a crossbody, into a backbreaker. How cool is that? Into the cover here. 1, 2, only a 2 count for Malcolm. Again, Malcolm, you know, I think he realizes now that he's got McLeod in a position where if he slips up, then Malcolm can, you know, take the advantage on that. But again, you know, Kent McLeod going to what he knows works, using his brute strength to overpower Malcolm. And Malcolm needs to, really hard into the corner there goes Malcolm. And now look at this, there's one German suplex, there's a second German suplex, and a third stalling German suplex there to Malcolm from McLeod. And this is what I'm talking about, that brute strength of McLeod. He's literally probably one of the strongest guys we have, and now McLeod, he's got Malcolm up, and he called that is just crazy raw power there into the cover here. 1, 2, only a 2 count for McLeod. You got to believe the frustration is building in McLeod. That move should have put Malcolm away, but Malcolm wisely able to kick out, might have used the last little bit of energy he had left. That might have been all he had left. That might have been all he had in the tank. But like I said, Malcolm is definitely keeping himself in this matchup. He is, you know, he's keeping the pressure on, he's keeping it going. Malcolm off the ropes here. He's doing the dance. Look at this, the Indian dance with the leg drop there. And now, wait a second. Malcolm, he might be looking for this. Malcolm's going to hit that skull-crushing finale there. Into the cover, hooks the far leg. 1, 2, only a 2 count for Malcolm. Again, the frustrations have to be building on both sides of the camps now, because Malcolm can't pin McLeod and McLeod can't pin Malcolm. So you gotta imagine, you know, how long. I don't mind watching this matchup all night, but we all know that all great things must come to an end. So eventually this matchup will end. But meanwhile, I love seeing this, and now, you know, we're seeing, as you saw, Malcolm there just kind of taunting McLeod. He went to leap off with it looked like a diving headbutt, but McLeod, he spent too much time taunting McLeod. McLeod was able to get out of the way, and now McLeod throwing Malcolm back into the ring. McLeod ascending the top rope again, leaps off with for that crossbody again, but gets caught again by Malcolm in that backbreaker. Again, physical strength, and if you notice, Malcolm is not that big of a guy, and a jawbreaker from the ground from McLeod there. McLeod went to hard Irish whip him, but pulled him back into a neck breaker. I thought he was going to whip Malcolm to that far corner. Into the cover here. 1, 2, only a 2 count again for McLeod. A kick to the abdomen, off the ropes with a big running bulldog there. Face first into the mat. And now look at this, McLeod, he's feeling comfortable, that's good, but Malcolm wisely rolled out of the ring to the outside. The referee begins his count here. And wait a second, Malcolm, he's using the ropes to his advantage there with an eye rake across the face. Malcolm leaps off, attempts a back elbow, but he gets caught this time by McLeod into a big backbreaker. Hooks the far leg, does McLeod. 1, 2, only a 2 count from McLeod. Again, only a 2 count. This is what I'm talking about. Oh, and a big sleeper slam from Malcolm Serbian there. And then a beautiful standing drop kick. It did not knock McLeod down, but it's beautiful nonetheless. And look at this. Picks McLeod up into a suplex, floats over into the cover. 1, 2, lateral press. He almost had it there. Off the ropes. Catches McLeod in a big standing. That drop kick did knock him down there. From behind here, he's got him in a big back, another big belly to back suplex. Off the ropes again. Goes up to him. It looks like he's gonna hit that dancing Indian leg drop. And now what is Malcolm thinking here? Malcolm dragging McLeod away from the ropes into the cover. 1, 2. He only got pretty much body on body. He didn't hook the leg. If he would have hooked the leg, he would have had the extra leverage to keep McLeod down, and McLeod starting to mount that offense again. And if Malcolm wants to win this, he needs to stop McLeod from getting that on that offensive streak. And now, you know, Malcolm he's in a world of trouble because McLeod is ready. Wait, no. He got countered there by Malcolm. Malcolm with that skull-crushing finale. This might be all she wrote. Hooks the far leg. 1, 2, 3, and Malcolm picks up the win against Kent McLeod in a definite, you know, size disadvantage. So it turns out that Frost is the strong link of his team, and Malcolm is the strong link of the Native Disasters. That definitely, I hope that doesn't cause any problems within their teams, but you know, Jake Serbian dropped the ball, Malcolm carried that ball. And the same with Frost and McLeod. And for those of you that don't know, last week during the main event, Sabbath, he had a lot of head injuries happen to him when he faced Semiraro. And so we were notified by our doctor staff that Sabbath has an unannounced return date because they don't know when he's going to be medically cleared to compete. So our wishes go out to Sabbath and his family. You know, get well soon. We want to see you back in the ring. I hate to have that happen to you because I know personally that you were plagued with injuries. You got injured right when you were first supposed to debut, and then to have this happen and sideline you, that's terrible to have that happen. But this young man, Jacob Keys, from the Power Plant's pre-development, this young man is being given a golden opportunity tonight. This tag team match is all developmental. Now, if you watched last week, you saw this young man along with Mr. Samardo. Unfortunately, Samardo was he's not going to be able to make it for this matchup tonight, so we don't really know what's going to go on with Jacob Keys. We don't know if it's going to be a fill-in. I know that Jacob Keys is friends with a lot of the guys, you know, within the developmental system. And I talked to Melinda Guerrero earlier today, and she had said that it'll be somebody definitely worthwhile. It's somebody that Jacob Keys has worked with for many years, so that's good to know. Samardo Iglesias, though, unfortunately, he was not able to make it for this, and he won't be seen for a little while. He just has to get some things taken care of, and then, you know, hopefully he can come back to the power plant and be better than ever. So I'm interested to find out who his partner is going to be. Who is Jacob Keys' partner? Oh my God, that's Land. For those of you that don't know, that's Landon Sane. And I should have made this connection when Melinda told me this. But Landon Sane, this young man, okay, he is a consummate professional. This guy, he is all about, you know, he's got fantastic cardio training when he does his training. He has probably one of the most perfect training regimens when he does his workouts, when he's practicing, when he's honing his skills. This guy, when he first came to the pre-developmental team, meaning before they were even scheduled into matches, this guy excelled at everything. This guy is literally an all-around guy. He played basketball in high school. He wrestled a little bit in middle school, and he was going to go to college and just be a basketball player. But somewhere along the line, he decided, I want to be a professional wrestler, and I want to wrestle in the power plant. Because I remember when he came into our developmental program, he was there when Zach Samararo was there, and he just exceeded and exceeded and exceeded, but he kept saying he didn't want to get put up onto the main show. So this is great. This is the time where he wants to be on the main show, and their opponents tonight are Justin Moore, who's in the ring, and Duke, who are two pre-developmental talents. You know, I was told, you know, that whoever, you know, the winners of this match, they'll get featured more frequently within the actual show and possibly on the developmental show as well. So none of these four guys, Landon Sane was on last week's developmental show, but none of these four guys actually have a lucrative, you know, signed contract with the power plant to compete weekly. But as you see, I mean, Landon Sane and Jacob Keys, they work well as a team because they've known each other for years, and they've done numerous tag team matches throughout their careers. And I don't know much about Duke and Justin Moore. Right now, it looks like Justin Moore's kind of getting drop kicked around the ring, but and a big chop block there from Landon Sane. You know, Landon Sane, like I said, he is a perfectionist. This guy, literally down to the T, he does everything perfect. And as you saw, Justin Moore getting out of the ring, tagging Duke in there, and now Duke trying to get on the offensive. Big uppercut there from Duke, and then followed up by a very dirty elbow. Again, you know, we don't know much about these guys, but Duke is definitely doing good. But again, Landon Sane turns the tide with a big monkey flip there, and now Landon Sane whips Duke into the ropes, catches him into a big, as you saw, that was a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, and he did it in a nice slow motion way, just so you knew that move really hurt. And again, that monkey flip from Landon Sane. And this is what I'm talking about, folks. I mean, this young talent, this is the future of the sport. These guys are so fast, so quick, and they're not all, you know, huge body-wise. They're not all built like James Braden or people of that nature. And a quick tag there from Landon Sane to Jacob Keys, trips him up, and then, you know, that's a basic move, a drop toe hold into an elbow drop, but it's a very effective tag team maneuver. And now Jacob Keys is in the ring, and right now Jacob Keys and Landon Sane are looking amazing in this matchup. I mean, they have the chemistry. We're not seeing the chemistry with Duke and Moore, and they need to have that in-ring chemistry to start doing, to win their matches. You need to have in-ring chemistry, and I understand they may be a little nervous. This is a full sold-out crowd, and now Justin Moore gets tagged back in. This is a sold-out crowd tonight in Tulsa, and so these fans they're having fun. They're having a lot of fun, and Jacob Keys, and Landon Sane have got to be having a lot of fun. And a big hip toss there from Justin Moore to Jacob Keys. A big kick right to the back of the head. You know, that'll definitely put you down into the cover here. 1, 2, only a 2 count for Jacob Keys. That was a little bit of a fast count by the referee, but maybe he's saying he isn't paid by the hour, although he is. And now look at this. Justin Moore went to do something, but he got a drop kick in the back from Justin Moore, and then you know, it's just horrible for that to happen to Justin Moore, and Jacob Keys was able to, you know, take advantage of that situation. And now Justin Moore, distracted by Landon Sane, gets whipped to their corner, and he was able to counter that there. And now what's Justin Moore gonna do? No, Justin Moore gets whipped back to that corner, and now again another tag from Keys to Sane, a backbreaker, and then an elbow right across the throat. That might be all she wrote. And now Sane there with Moore with the gouge right to the eyes, and then that big chop block from Landon Sane. And again, as I said, Landon Sane, this guy is a professional. He's a consummate professional. This guy is constantly trying to exceed at everything he does. A kick to the abdomen. He's got more up. A whiplash type move, slamming him onto the back of his head. And now what's Sane is looking for something here. Sane kick to the abdomen, and then that stunner. That is a mean stunner. Big shoulder block to the abdomen there of Duke into the cover here. 1, 2, 3, and this matchup is over. Duke could not get back into the ring in time there. Sane just showed why he was a very good pick for, you know, Melinda Guerrero to come up from the developmental. So you got to believe Jacob Keys, Landon Sane making headway tonight, getting closer to getting those full-on lucrative contracts. And up next, we have an interview coming up with Jordan Moore, who's hopefully going to be able to shed some light on the situation that has occurred between Monroe and Moore. You know, because it's been pretty intense, and I guess it's time to do this. But wait, that's Monroe. Oh my God, that Monroe just threw Jordan into that crate, and now Monroe continuing the attack here, a big uppercut there, and now. This is a mugging. Monroe just a shoulders tackle right into those crates. I mean, he's not giving Jordan a chance to breathe here. Oh, but Jordan showing a little bit of fight, and now Monroe fighting back. This is what I'm talking about. These guys, the last we knew, they were kind of friends. That was the last thing I knew. They were kind of friends. They got scheduled for this matchup, and now look at this. I mean, Monroe. Wait a second. Oh, a big door right to the face there. This is what I'm talking about. They had one match that spilled to the point where it was a double count out, and now these guys are, every week, they're just brawling in these matches. I mean, they're not actual matches between these guys. These are just fist fights. And this is what Monroe is known for. He loves to hurt people, like this big kick right to the side of the face. But Jordan is not this type of person. Monroe has brought out a side of Jordan, and right now Monroe is definitely having his way with Jordan Moore. And now Monroe throws Jordan. He's not even whipping him into him. He's throwing him into him. He threw him right back into those. Punched him in the abdomen there. It might have been a little low. Then big knee right to the forehead, the side of the face. And now Moore is on the ground, and Monroe just walked away. And now a TPP official comes over, checking on Jordan Moore, he's calling for the EMTs here. Jordan might be hurt, folks. We'll give you an update as soon as we find out what's going on. Oh, this is what I'm talking about. The Jordan Moore and the Alexander Monroe situation is just getting insane. This is just going completely insane, folks. We have to take a quick commercial break. We will be right back in just a few moments. And we're back here, and you know, we're going into our main event. During the short break we had there, Jordan Moore may have suffered a concussion. They haven't gotten back to us yet, but changing gears here, main event time. Xcalizorz versus the unknown opponent. That is what it is. We didn't know that there was actually gonna. We didn't know. If you watched the pre-show, then you heard myself and Tyson Sage talking about how we didn't know what the main event was because there wasn't a planned main event. The final segment was going to be the Jordan Moore interview. That was going to be how the show was supposed to end, but evidently, you know, Diehard had other plans, and his plans included Xcalizorz. So we're going to find out who Xcalizorz's opponent is. You know, this guy, Xcalizorz, great guy, okay? He's heading into Over the Limit, fighting for the Power Plant Championship. Diehard is literally trying to derail him to make it so that he can't make it to Over the Limit. Now, I'm not saying that Craig Hazard is in Diehard's pocket, because I don't think that's the case. But this issue that Diehard has with Xcalizorz, I think it goes beyond just a professional feud. I think it's far, far beyond that. And I think it's because Diehard knows that Xcalizorz would have his number any day of the week. And I think that's what Diehard is afraid of. And so who's his opponent going to be? And now we know. I should have expected that it would be James Braden, the brother-in-law of Diehard, you know, Melinda Guerrero's brother. I should have known this. I should have had this feeling in my gut that it would be James, because James is the guy that he sends down to take care of all the dangerous work. And the funny story to this is, and we talk about this during the interview with Xcalizorz, so you definitely want to go check this out. But James Braden was the very first opponent Xcalizorz ever faced in the power plant. In his very first match, he faced James Braden. This is Xcalizorz's chance at redemption here, because James Braden beat him. So this is a great opportunity for James for Xcalizorz to redeem himself against James Braden. James is a little bit slower now compared to then. So you know, as we see, Xcalizorz, he taunted Braden. And he's just right on the offensive here, just strikes. And there's so much, you know, I'm not, and you know, if you listened to the Xcalizorz interview, he's not hostile towards his opponents. He's just a very professional man in the ring. But James Braden, on the other hand, dirty elbows like that, nothing fancy, just brute power. And that's the one thing that James Braden has that not a lot of other wrestlers possess. Physical strength. I've seen James Braden bench press, you know, almost 400 pounds, and the referee just ignoring the pinfall there. And you know, and that's the thing. Like James Braden, he can be a good guy, he can be a nice guy, but you don't want to get on his bad side. And Xcalizorz is definitely looking to get on James's bad side tonight. He's looking to make that impact and to make James regret, you know, doing what Diehard told him to do. Big jawbreaker there from Xcalizorz. And then attempted clothesline, but James was just 2 steps ahead there into the cover. 1, 2, and a 2 count off of a basic clothesline. That's what I'm saying when I say raw, unmitigated power, because James Braden can take you out very quickly if he gets in his skilled set. But Xcalizorz knows how to beat James Braden. He knows to take out those legs. James Braden, if he can't get up and walk around, he cannot beat you. And Xcalizorz keeping on the offensive. This is what makes Xcalizorz such a dangerous guy, but James Braden still able to shut him down, and now James going to work on the legs. And a big right hand there from James Braden. Now James again going to work on the left leg, trying to keep Xcalizorz grounded, but Xcalizorz able to counter, pulls back into a big pullback knee strike. And this is what I'm talking about, folks. I mean, it takes a true ability to be able to do what these men, and any professional wrestler out there, and my hat is off to you. It takes a true skill set to be able to do the things that you guys do in these matches. But nothing compares to the way that these guys compete in the power plant, because they come in and they do this week in and week out. They don't take a month vacation or a 3-month vacation. They do this every single week. and they don't cry when they're hurt. They keep going and they keep going until the injuries are too far beyond their control to where they have to take a break, where they're told they have to take a break. And that was the case with Sabbath. Like with the concussions, he said he wanted to continue to wrestle, but management said no, you need to go home and you need to rest. And that's the thing. One beautiful thing with Zach Cimararo, this young man, he is truly gifted, because as long as I've known Zach Cimararo, he has never gotten injured to the point where he had to get sent home from an injury. The only times he got sent home was when Die Hard was on one of his tirades, which this match right now gives Zach Cimararo that ability to take out some of that pent-up frustration of those times when Die Hard just sent him away because he was afraid of him. But James Braden again turning this matchup around, but Zach Cimararo still savvy enough and wise enough to keep it in his favor there to the top rope, jumps off with a big body press. And then, you know, again, the momentum switches so quickly, and this is one of those things you have to be ready for Zach Cimararo. The Cimararo experience in these matches, I get chills when I see him wrestle, because he's so constant. You know, he always keeps the pace going. If it's a slow-paced match, he's going to pick up the pace. If it's a fast-paced match, he's going to slow it down. And James Braden right now is doing the wise thing by trying to keep Cimararo grounded, but not by taunting, because Cimararo quickly back to his feet with a beautiful drop kick right to the face. And now Cimararo off the ropes there with that his patented signature leg drop. Cimararo into the cover here. 1, 2, only a 2 count. James Braden barely got his shoulder up there. And now Cimararo, another big running clothesline, just knocking James Braden off his feet, and then that chop block to the front of the left knee. And now again going to work on the leg. Cimararo knows he's got to take out the big man's legs. He knows that that's what he's got to do to win this match. But now look at this, James getting the upper advantage here into a seated neck breaker. But Zach Cimararo again able to counter. Attempted big right hand there by James Braden, but Cimararo again, you know, savvy and wise enough to keep on the offensive, again going right for the leg. The legs have got to be hurting James right now. He's keeping the pressure on. He's keeping, you know, the momentum in his favor. And again, that chop block right to the knee, right to the back of the knee. He's sending a statement to James Braden tonight saying, go ahead, Die Hard, send out whoever you want to send out, and I'm going to chop them down. And now look at this. He's got him hanging upside down, but James quickly got himself out of that predicament. And now Cimararo with the pullback Hurricane Rana. And Cimararo isn't the smallest guy in the fight, but he's definitely got the most heart when it comes to fighting those bigger guys, because he doesn't back down from anybody. And look at that, a pullback elbow there, and now James Braden with a modified surfboard stretch there, just wrenching on this. You know, and you got to believe he's trying to buy himself some time here, because as you saw, you know, he let that go. He probably felt that Cimararo was going to get out of it. I saw Cimararo summoning that strength to get out, and James let go. But now Cimararo, look at this. These are those patented knees here. Oh, there's one knee, and there's 2 knees. The 3rd knee, and he's lining up that big boot. The big boot right to the outside there. Cimararo off the ropes, and the referee got in the way there and kind of got drop kicked. James back into the ring, but now Cimararo going right after James, not stopping at all. James trying to get some offense, and that nothing fancy about that kick right to the chin, but Cimararo was able to counter, attempted kick to the abdomen. James with the big counter of his own with that big right hand. And now James whips Cimararo to the corner, but Cimararo was able to counter. Oh, and a big back chop from Zach Cimararo, and then that running drop kick just grounded James Braden. A kick to the abdomen. Ooh, and again, scoop slam. And then that patented leg drop. And now look at this, Cimararo, a stomp on the face. You got to be thinking, he's thinking about it. Into the cover here. 1, 2. At what point is Zach Cimararo going to hit that T-bone suplex? That is what you got to wonder. Cimararo there, a T-bone out of nowhere, picked the big man up into the cover, hooked the legs. 1, 2, 3, and this matchup is over. Zach Samararo, just like that, picked up the win over DieHard's hand-picked opponent. James Braden, you know, his DieHard's brother-in-law was not able to get the job done. Zach Samararo picks up I mean, that was just almost a one-sided butt kicking for James Braden. I mean, he mounted a little bit of offense against Zach Samararo, but Zach Samararo is literally on fire this time around, and that's great for Samararo, and Samararo in the ring taunting James Braden. Look at this, he's going to try this attack. No, Samararo was able to counter now, and now look at this, a fist fight is breaking out between these two, and now Samararo getting the upper advantage here. Wait, no, that's Jerry Graham. Jerry Graham is, oh no, Jerry Graham, and now a 2-on-1 from Jerry Graham and James Braden, and now Jerry Graham throwing Samararo to the outside. As you see, they're sitting in there feeling accomplished, but wait, Samararo back in the ring here. Samararo he's livid. Samararo is just now stomping a mud hole in James Braden, giving James Braden the bird there. This has been off the chain. I mean, look at Zach Samararo. I mean, he's the one rebel that you'll never ever get to see ever again in any other company. This guy, he literally can do it all. You can think you got him beat, and he comes back and he opens up a can on you. And now, you know, again, this is Zach Samararo's time. This is his run in the power. This is his opportunity, and he's not going to let anybody take that from him. Now, folks, we are about out of time tonight. Make sure to tune in next week, because I can only imagine what's going to happen as we draw closer and closer to Over the Limit. I'm Christopher Billings. Have a good night, everybody, and we will see you guys next week.